The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, Smashmasters, Derby Parts, and Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt. Whoops. There we go. Got it.
He's on it.
Yup. We're flying. It feels a lot like when I got back from Kansas. A lot like when I got back from Kansas. Welcome to episode number 12 of the Crash Course Derby Podcast, coming to you from Finger Lakes 1 Studios in Seneca Falls. We've got Austin and Devin Manshaki in the studio with us tonight. And there's the boys, Josh Decker. Devin was a key player in getting Josh here this evening. I'm glad he was able to make the trip out. And we've got Brian, and then we've also got our buddy. There's Steve Bucknam right there coming in on the Skype hotline. Lots of chatter going on before we got into the show open about the Northeast Championship. So I guess before we do anything, we'll start the conversation there. You know, everybody in the room pretty much is talking about being there in one way, shape, or form. Steve's going to be there announcing with SB Motorsports, announcing he's there for the whole week. Devin and Austin, they're talking about having cars there, actually to drive and participate. Josh is going to have a drive there, and Brian is really hoping they need some help in the inspection line. So
I was hoping more along the lines of, serving hot dogs or maybe
serving
cold
hot
beer
dogs.
or something.
Yeah,
I'm bringing the grill so you can cook for us while we're out there, please.
All right. Bring some venison.
Done.
there you go. Give the fat kid the grill.
Amen.
That's right.
Maybe some water in between the heat and feature, too.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
Run them out to us.
Run them out.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's not a lot of run in here. Unless there's a chance somebody's dying, there's not a lot of running, buddy.
Wow. That's funny.
Well, I mean, so you guys, Devin and Austin, you guys are planning on making the trip out there.
Yeah, we're thinking about getting two cars, maybe just driving them right out there and building them while we're out there and just giving them the guys a scrap and get back in the truck with Decker and drive back down.
Done. Let's
Come
do
back
it.
home.
So you're going to do that? Your plan right now is to do that in a single day? You want to do that in one day, go out there?
Or maybe go up there the day before and
The week.
see if we can get it done for the qualifying heat and go ahead and see if we can qualify them. If not, go back and qualify the next day and see if we can get the feature.
He's just talking. He didn't even get no cars.
You don't,
We got some. They're all over in Georgia.
do you know the format of the show? That it spans over a week?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just depends on when I can get
Well,
home.
he's throwing you under the bus and saying you're talking. I didn't want you.
Well, just as soon as I take off down the road, if he don't follow, I guess he ain't coming.
Oh no, that's no
With
good.
my cars, right? Yeah.
And Austin picked up the win at the Yates County Fair last year. Got to participate in the New York State Fair Championship. You really thinking about going out there? Or are you going to focus on more of the local stuff this year?
I'm focusing on the local stuff. I'm planning on building the car for Yates County for the stock class, and I got a Fifth Avenue I was thinking about taking out there for the 80s and newer. That's all I really got planned so far.
Do you get a lot of cars from Georgia now that you got a connection down there?
We get a fair share.
Yeah. Bring that microphone right up so everybody can hear you. Bring it right up there. There you go. That'll be good. Tell us a little bit about your background. I mean, you guys come from. It's pretty safe to say that you guys are third generation demolition derby drivers here in the area. You know, when you go all the way back. Tell us a little bit about your family and your influences and stuff like that, and we'll also take a little bit of time out of that to talk about Total Destruction.
Right. My dad, uncles always ran. Danny, Dougie, Chunk. My dad being Steve. They've always ran. Always been real hard for it. Then my older cousins, be the second generation. They're into it. And then when me and Devin got old enough to drive, my dad built his cars, got his cars for Bath. So that got us started. Once you do one, you're hooked.
Yeah, that's
hooked on it. So
how tough is it growing up cutting your teeth at a track like Bath?
yeah, it's tough. Don't really stand much of a chance there, being 16 with a diplomat, Just going out there to junk it.
You don't really stand much of a chance being 21 with a shocker either. But, you got to do what you got to do.
Now, why is that? I mean, we've heard a little bit of talk about Bath a couple different times. Why is that?
There's no rule enforcement whatsoever. It's just a no holds bar down there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a Stoney Roberts show still, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
I went out there once with Stoney. It was one summer when I was doing some officiating for him, and he said, "Hey, I need somebody from out of state to come in and enforce the rules because things are getting a little out of hand up here. And I guess the year that I helped was like a reset year. We made a lot of people mad, and then I guess the next year he just went back to letting everything go again.
Yeah, there's some rumors that some stuff has made it through inspection at Stoney's show.
No, they're not rumors. You just go there and watch it.
I mean,
People actually
the year
paint
that
it.
I was there inspecting it. If I was a driver running against those cars, I would have been upset because there was no consistency. I mean, there were some real tanks, and there was some really scary stock cars.
Yes, that's how it is.
Those kind of shows suck. I mean, I've run a bunch of Stoney shows, but like I have a good time there because of the guys that I'm running with there. But really, it is
And because you have the cheated up cars.
yeah, right. No, yeah.
Keep going.
Did you see mine at the end of those runs? Every other car on the track is straight, and mine is bent like a U, and it's like something doesn't add up. I'm driving a Caprice in the ass, and it's not bending. I don't understand this. Not getting it. Until I get out and I see it, it's got a half inch all over the thing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, is it really that bad?
It's
Is it-
awful.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying from the stands. Let me say this year I was there. The crowd was booing from the stands because they could see it in the stands. That's how blatant it is down there.
Now
Think
listen,
about that.
you guys know what the Stoney Roberts rules are supposed to be.
Yep.
There was a 73 Cadillac there the year that I inspected. It had a 75 New Yorker bumper welded directly to the frame seams, all the way welded. The bumper seams were welded. Every body seam in the engine compartment was welded solid. Frame seams top and bottom were welded. And that guy was wondering why I was not letting him run.
And then about 4 years back, there was a 76 four-door Chrysler New Yorker there that had a pointy bumper on it that broke off the first hit and junked, let's see, a Gran Torino, 2-shocker Mopars, and about 4 other cars and won the feature. No bumper. That's impressive. That's nasty.
That's always a classic.
Brian Tompkins done that before at Waterloo. Did a lot of hitting with the core support.
Yeah, I did. The funny thing was is I was doing damage, but when I got
You were.
done and both front frames were pointing at the ground and
They were.
stuff is
It looked like a whale mouth in front of that thing.
yeah, mine didn't look quite as good as that one did.
No, it didn't fare as well. Tell us a little bit about Total Destruction. I mean, Total Destruction has become one of the most recognized derby production groups in all over New York, really. I mean, and you guys have picked up a bunch of shows, branched a little bit further north.
Yeah, we just picked up Malone. I mean, I've been kind of out of the loop being down there in Georgia, being in the Army, but I don't know. I don't know if they're experimenting or what they really plan on doing with these 03 and newer cradle swaps, but I'm not so sure it's going to work out to the advantage. I don't know if it's really going to happen. Maybe this year we'll try it and see what it turns out to be, but it's just going to be a bulldozer fest.
Right.
Just a bunch of 03 and newer Crown Vics with pointy bumpers. Whoever's motor lasts the longest, who's going to win? Because from the looks of things, they just don't bend.
Right.
So
It depends on it depends on what you're allowed to do to it too.
here it comes.
Or I'm going to swing that.
Here it comes.
I want to attack those. I'll be honest. I really like running your guys' shows. I've run so many with your dad. I really wish you guys would run Imperials. And I know this. Everyone's going to say, "Duh, of course he does." But if you're letting 03s, you guys have now. Guys are accepting it. Just stick Imperials in there. I don't understand what the fight is. I've talked to Ben. I know Ben is all for it.
Because if you do that, it's going to force you to add another division. You're going to have the Imperials and those cradle swap cars, and then you're going to have the stock show for everybody else, or the basic rules.
Hold on
for
a second. How many cars do you guys take out of a heat?
All depends on the show.
Right.
Two to
How
three.
many's there.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were to run Imperials and like maybe even throw Suicides or something in there together with them, I don't know, all in their own heat with the same rules as everybody else, at the most you're gonna have 2 or 3 Imperials in the feature. They'll be severely outnumbered by the rest of the guys. I mean, what do you think is really going to happen?
And not only that, let me just jump in there. John King does that. Okay? Because there's Vic, and John King had 170 cars at his last show. And there's a lot of Imperials.
It is second to last show.
Okay. So there's
He did not have 170 cars at Black Rock.
Okay, Black Rock. That don't count. That doesn't count. But seriously, not only the Imperials got to run their own heat, but when you're running against all Imperials, usually they are trashed. You're seeing New Yorkers, LTDs getting in there a lot cleaner than the Imperials are pulling in there. And I think that if you're going to stick them in the last heat together, run them all at one time, and then, like Steve says, only 2 guys are getting through. It's not like an Imperial's going to win it for sure. Please. You hear me?
And that's the thing. I mean, I would almost like to see, like a blind draw for the heats instead of, I mean, you just put in and pull and then.
I don't know. I mean,
Imperials are tough, but, I mean, you got to drive it.
Go ahead.
And that's true. And who's to say like 503 and newer Crown Vic show up, and then 5 Imperials show up. You take, or say we have 5 heats, put an 03 and newer Crown Vic and Imperial with the rest of them.
I like
separate them
that.
through the heats.
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
So then that person with that Imperial, say, you know, he's got a clean Imperial and going up against the rest of the cars, he's actually got to drive and he's got to win that himself.
Yeah.
And
That I agree with that. I mean,
and stupid stuff's going to happen to those cars too. I mean, who's to say
Just
it's not
because-
going to break an axle one hit?
Yeah.
just because you have an Imperial doesn't mean that you booked
No,
a
it's
trip to
not
the feature.
bulletproof.
Right.
They're not bulletproof by any
Look
means.
at Bob Dixon's. He ran down there at Keystone National. Sub from Imperial, bent.
No.
Poor Bob. He's such a
That was
nice
a
guy.
clean car.
No, they're good shit. Those guys.
Yeah.
For sure. That was crazy how that bounced.
I can't believe that show was that Crown Vic of Pete Hansen's. That
I mean,
same with that Rivy.
that wasn't necessarily where we were planning on going with it right away, but I suppose we're already on that topic, so we'll go ahead. I mean, Austin, what are some of your thoughts on that scenario? Ben's a really good guy. Ben Haas is your rule book writer, knowledgeable guy. He knows his stuff. He's inspected cars all over the place. At the same token, you're one of the first guys to jump on board with the Cuba Clash program, which is really basic build.
Right.
Can you hear okay now, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. We plugged in this headset.
With the 03 and newers, I mean, it might turn out good. It might turn out bad. You know, it just got to see how it plays out, I guess.
Yeah.
With the Cuca Clash, maybe we could lean more towards something, one big show a year, all stock, you know, and guess we'll have to see how it goes, I guess.
Did you guys ever think about doing one big show like that?
We talked about it. We tried with the compacts last year, the big show in Canandaigua, the race to the arena, but didn't get too many cars there. So, I mean, it's something we're going to discuss.
Yeah.
So, definitely.
Is it a situation where you guys are kind of being groomed a little bit to move into more of a leadership role in the operations, total destruction?
Most definitely. Yeah.
That's good to know. I mean, it's nice to see that it's going to eventually be, you know, in your hands, and it's going to have some longevity. It's going to be around for a while.
Yep,
In the next
definitely.
couple of years for sure.
Yeah. How's your dad? He couldn't make it? You had a Christmas party?
Yeah, at a Christmas party, just busy this time of
Can I
year.
boo him or?
Of course.
Should I do that? I'm just doing it. I wish he was here. I have some questions for him. I like Steve.
I do too, and I was bummed out. But I
the
mean,
only problem
Christmas-
about those stock shows is we tried we tried doing a modified show in Morris, and you put up the big money, and you guarantee $4,500 for first place, and you get 10 cars to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? We got to pay him $4,500, but you ain't making nothing. It's hard to put up.
Can you
So-
put up 4,500 and have basic build rules?
Right, but it's who's going to show up to the show? I mean, how many cars are we going to get?
The
Well, if
problem is you got to find a set of rules that works for whatever area
Yeah.
you're doing the derby
Right,
in.
yeah.
Not every place is the same.
Right.
I agree.
Yep, that for sure.
Also, I think sometimes it just to go start 1 year and put a lot of money up, you don't get a good turnout. That's going to happen. You actually have to stick there and look at Hartford. They did okay their first year, but then the second year was way better, and then the third year was even better. I think if you're going to put big money up, the first year you're probably not going to get all those cars. People are actually wondering what's going to show up.
Yeah.
And are your rules going to be great? Is the show going to be good?
Are they going to be enforced?
Absolutely.
that's-
Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing right
When-
there.
when
When
metal-
you're doing a big show, the rules have to be enforced. Because
When-
if the rules aren't enforced, nobody's coming back the second year. Nobody's coming back. Period.
100%.
When they started the mental destruction at Cuba, we were up in the stands, and there were some guys that were there from down towards Massachusetts, and they were talking. And that's what they said. They said, they were interested, but they didn't want to build and then come up and be underbuilt or, have it be a shitty show, So, but, and that's kind of like what we heard, up in the stands was that, well, we want to see how things are and how things are done. And then, if it turns out well and it's handled professionally, then, we'd be back. So, I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot almost, like the first year. Just throwing money out. I mean, I think you'll get a lot of the guys that are your regulars. You might get a few new guys in, but to get the real big turnouts, I definitely think it'd be a crapshoot. But I mean, as long as there's consistency with the rules and the way the shows ran and so on and so forth, I think it would work out all right.
Let me just throw out there that Ben just texted me and said, make sure you talk about imps tonight. So just so everyone knows, even Ben's on my side. Well, can I say something real quick, too, which I wanted to talk about a couple weeks ago was a lot of fairs you go to, the promoters are not educated, and it's becoming actually a dilemma.
Yeah.
Promoters have to have inspectors that really are learning and taking the next step, and I think that's why Total Destruction is in a good spot right now. Mm-hmm. Ben really takes it seriously.
Oh,
and
yeah.
after going out to Kansas, I realized how serious he actually takes it. I respect that. I super respect that because think of how many tracks out there, the promoters, my brother if I don't take him to a derby, he doesn't even know what's going
Why
on.
do you spend so much time on the show beating your brother up?
No, because I don't feel bad. What it is, but you know what I'm saying? He doesn't go out there to learn more and try to be better at it. We need guys, and we need to support the guys that are trying to be better at it. I think Ben is really good at that, he's on top of what's going on. He knows what's going on with the 03s.
Well, you've also got a situation with these guys. So, I mean, Devin last year flew in from Georgia just to participate in the metal destruction show in Cuba, went out, ran, and then flew back home.
Right.
I mean, and these guys are building cars, and they're building cars for rule books that are diverse. I mean, they're talking about building for the show out there, the Northeast Championship, that pays $7,500 to win over the 4th of July weekend. They're talking about building a real basic car for Penn Yan at the Cuba Clash. At the same time, those cars they've had cars in Cuba, they've had cars that participated in Bath. They've had cars at Hartford, which is all, a very wide range of cars. And having that mindset, being the group that is running the organization, really gives you an inside track in terms of being able to put out there a rule book that is going to be adopted by the drivers.
100% correct.
And another thing about inspectors, or to touch on that again, one thing I see Ben do, or when he gets on and starts inspecting cars, his friendship with everybody, even if he has friends that run the Derby, is out the window.
Yep.
It's a fair playing field all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, well, you're my buddy, you can do this, or you can do this. It's 100%, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's how it should be.
Absolutely.
Why does that envelope get pushed so often?
I think a lot of people try to take advantage of it. I really do. Like they think, hey,
They try to take advantage of friends that are inspecting?
Absolutely. I really do. I think they think, well, I can get away with this or I can get away with that. And, it's wrong. I mean, I think the person that tries to do it, they shouldn't be doing it.
You're insane.
What
What you're saying is absolutely insane. Let me just jump in there. For any builder, whether you know the promoter or not, you're going to push the rules. If you know a guy, you are going to push it too. But it's not up to you building it. It's up to your buddy. I know it sounds stupid, but it's up to the inspector, if he's your buddy or not. He's got to catch that stuff and yell at you as that. You're going to push the rules.
No, not my thing is.
Amen.
I'm gonna, whether it's my brother or whoever.
I'm not saying pushing. I mean, guys that outright break stuff. I mean, you do stuff that you aren't supposed to do. Plated frames, shit like that.
Cold bet Fords.
You are
Cold bet Fords.
you are a jerk for putting your friend in that predicament. But we're all going to do it, and I've done it. But also, I agree with these guys. And Ben will even say a lot of guys don't like him because he does that. Well, also that's why people, I think, respect him. You got to stay on that.
It's good for business.
It is.
And that's that's the thing. I mean, the 2 years ago down to Cuba, I think they had the best inspecting staff they've had.
At Cuba, yeah. I'll
Mark,
go with that.
Mark, Ben, Mike Rice, Aaron Bunce. Can't remember who. I think there was 5 guys that were going over it.
Mike Adams.
Yeah, I think Mike was down there. And I mean, that's you get 5 guys with the experience and the knowledge that they have. I mean, you're not going to get anything past them, and they're going to call it down the center. And I think that's what it takes to have a successful show. You got to have somebody that says, "Look, this is," and I've seen Mark Benjamin send Brett repeatedly back to his trailer Relier to fix stuff. And there's been words exchanged and bitching and complaining and. But Mark does it. I mean, Mark's the same way. If something's wrong, you're going to fix it or you're not going to run, and that's what you need. I mean, if you're going to have a show like that, you got to have good inspectors. I mean, it's got to be it's got to be good from the top down. That's how I feel.
Steve's going to jump in on this about Northeast Championship, and then he's going to tell us about Keystone Nationals inspection crew. I guarantee it. Steve?
Well, I can, I guess. I was actually going to go a different route with it. I was going to say that I think it's really important not only to have just good, knowledgeable inspectors, but actually inspectors that are drivers. Because, anybody who's knowledgeable about cars can tell you if something is stock or if it's the way it's supposed to be. But a driver can look at those rules and look at your car, and they can interpret the things the same way that you did, and they can maybe understand where you're coming from and really help people to meet in the middle. I think that's important.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Things have really changed up there in Malone for you guys too. The first year it was a little tense, and they had a lot of stuff that was overbuilt, or it wasn't quite within the rule specs and stuff like that. But this year was a lot better. Went a lot smoother this year.
Right, yeah, a lot of stuff. Loaded a lot of stuff the first night. The first year we went up there. And the weird thing about it is it's their rules. They have a derby committee up there, or had. That's got done with now. It's our rules. Not necessarily our rules with the 03 and Newers, but it's a specific set of rules that Ben comes up with for that show specifically. And there was a lot of stuff that was done that shouldn't have been done. A lot of arguing. All the guys took care of it. Everything ended up good that year. Last year went a lot smoother. Had a lot of cars. That's always a great show up there.
You have to pre-register.
Yep.
And there are guys that show up there at that show with cars on the trailers on a wait list. They're just hoping that somebody doesn't show up. It's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
What was it, Chris? 110 or something?
Yeah.
But with that track so big, why aren't they just letting everyone run? Or is it really that many cars? Like, how many cars are they getting in a night?
It's 110. Easy. I mean, it's a lot of cars up there.
That's
And the thing is like I said before, like when we talked about the show before, there's no secret about who you're there with.
Yeah.
There's the extreme team, there's the power team.
yeah.
There's
the video.
there's no secret. The good old boys and the Stockholm boys. They're the four.
Mopars.
They're the four main big groups, I would say.
Yep,
big
definitely.
car groups, and there is no secret. It's not a team derby, but you wouldn't know it. Because, I mean, there's seven orange cars and 6 black cars, and if you're not one of those two, you're a target.
Watch out.
You're drunk early.
You are in the way.
Yep.
They have a derby to run. Please sit over there.
It kind of sounds like Owego back in the days. You felt bad for guys that came in there that were out of towners that were trying to run.
I would hate to get sideways on that track up there. Let me tell you, I watched that video and wow.
When Tom Pickering hit that Oldsmobile,
That Lumina,
man, right? Lumina.
They junk them. Cherry Chryslers, they junk them.
2 hits.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Since
great.
we're talking about that show, I read in my Derby 8 magazine this month about, I guess, drivers choosing to not participate in the feature so that the teammates could just run against each other. What was that all about?
Yeah, the I guess you'd call them what would you call them?
That was a good old boy.
The good old
Jamie
boys.
Dustin's
Yep,
team.
they had all the Mopars and stuff. They decided they were going to boycott the feature because it probably would have been 4 of them and 8 of the power team all in the feature. They decided they were going to boycott it and let all the power team run. And I mean, the power team hesitated about it. They came and talked to us, so they didn't want to junk their cars, but they had to put a show on.
And
they got to put a show on. They junked them.
And they did. They made good on it. They
Yep.
turned their stuff inside out.
Yep.
That's awesome, though. I mean,
That's cool.
What was
that's
the payout?
great.
I wonder if it hurt or was. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Mary junked a round back wagon. That went right in the dirt, and they brought it back smash top Sunday. They did pretty good with that. They junked a lot of cars.
So as a bystander that's not familiar with the show, I guess my question is, the other team boycotting the feature, does that have any impact on any of your decisions for the next show?
That was a little mix up with the rules once again. So now this last time we were here, we verified that it was Ben and my dad and I met up with them down in the fair office and decided that their derby committee was no more. There's no more derby committee in Malone. So that's all our deal now.
Is it easier for you to have a blanket set of rules to implement at every show that you go to, or do you guys not mind when you have, okay, these are the rules that we're going to go see here in Malone, these are the rules that we're going to see here in Morris, these are the rules that we're going to see here, and so on, and have a book that was designed for each individual show?
It's not really. I don't mind so much. I'm not really a head inspector like Ben or Devin would be. I'll let him answer on that one.
I think like a blanket set of rules is the way to go. So then if someone runs their car at Morris, they can take it to Malone. So they don't have to go cutting a whole bunch of stuff or having to add a whole bunch of stuff to compete.
Is your season at this point booked? Are you full for the year? Have you got everything set in stone? Or
The convention is at the end of January. That's when Dad will go up there in Rochester, and he will, sign all of his contracts. But I know for sure we got Malone. For sure we got Morris. For sure Canandaigua.
Yeah, we got another night at Malone. They wanted us back.
How great's that?
We got we got Morris, Malone. Then they want us back the following Tuesday for a rollover competition, figure 8 race, truck derby, big money to win it. So
man,
Hey, at
and
least
you
when
guys
you're
are doing a Father's Day show again too?
Yep, in Morris.
In Morris?
Yep.
That's
At least when you're going from Morris to Malone, it's a nice short drive. I mean, it's only 15, 20 hours.
Yeah.
That's great. It works out good for you guys.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
It's a pretty restless week, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I've talked to Ben about those rides. The first time he told me, I went, "That's not really that close." No, it's not. We got hired, so we're going. But hey, that's
It's
awesome.
a fun week.
What's the first Morris night? Because Malone is Saturday, and then you go to Morris Sunday, and then you come back to
It's Thursday.
Malone.
Thursday night Morris
Thursday.
first.
Thursday Morris, Saturday Malone, Sunday Morris,
and then back to Malone.
then
on
back to
Monday.
Malone. Yep. Back to Malone Monday.
And then you got to go back where Tuesday?
We're staying there. We're gonna stay there.
You're staying.
Doing Tuesday. Add another night to it. So.
They're adding another night Tuesday.
Yep. I'm not
in
sure if it's
Malone.
Tuesday and Wednesday. There's still some discussion on that, but trying to get that figured out.
So I got to go back up there again.
Yeah. Stay up there.
They might
Stay
even
up
have a
there.
worse schedule than you, Mark.
I-
We're-
Just
That's
wait.
really going to affect your building time.
Just wait. Wait till that list comes out. My wife looked at me and she goes, "Are you kidding me?" And I said, maybe I am now." It sounds like I might be.
Yes, dear.
Yeah, we're we're filming our first show. We're filming our first show in Minnesota this year
Yeah.
on the 8th of February at an outdoor show.
So what happens when everything freezes up? Do we just go to the heated beer tent?
What do you mean? What do you mean when everything freezes up?
When all of your electronic equipment freezes up?
No, it's not gonna freeze up. It'll be fine.
You're gonna blow on it and warm it up with
Yeah.
Be
that
frost
hot
like
breath that
camera
comes out of your
lenses.
mouth.
Yeah, I am a little worried about the in-car cameras because they tend to fog up. Well, we really want to put him truck.
There you go. Go.
Fucked up.
That's awesome.
Whoops.
Hey,
Got one by the goalie.
Can I send that on a plane? Can we put that in my carry-on bag? Or
Is it sealed?
No,
it needs to be
you
sealed.
can't have it in carry-on, but you could pack it.
all right, help me
Oh,
out
good.
with that.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. That's awesome.
Can we take on walk-on coolers to the airplane? Are we allowed to do that?
yeah, is our one carry on if it's a big, like 6
Giant
pack?
cooler.
No, it's got to fit inside of your that little thing that they got there.
Was it like 3 ounces or something?
Yeah, 3 ounces.
3
You
ounces.
just take like triple shots at one at a time.
There you go.
After winning Yates County, you had the chance to run the state fair. How was that, Austin?
That was a good experience. I like that. I mean, I wasn't a fan of how they run it up there with the rules and everything, and how they take the top 3 cars and stuff. But it was fun. It was definitely a good experience. If I was ever go back, I for the first time I decided I'd take a New Yorker with a good card, good shot, just for a good experience. If I was to go back, I'd probably just bring a Lumina or something. Don't mind losing it, you know.
You got down to 8th, right?
I'm not sure if I did that good, but it was. I ran for a while. It was just so muddy up there. Blew both my tires. Couldn't do much.
And it was Dominic who ended up
Dominic got second. Yep,
second.
with Lumina. Yep.
No, have you guys ever heard the story of your Uncle Danny Dougie being chased out of there by the state troopers?
I heard they brought their titles to their cars.
Yeah, they've back in the day you could only win it. I think it was twice, and then you couldn't run it anymore. And they
got a lot of strange clauses on how to get into the state fair.
they both won it twice, and I can't remember if it was the second time Dougie won it or the second time Danny won it. They drove their cars off the track and proceeded to load them up and leave the fairgrounds. And they're chasing them, and troopers got involved. And
I'm surprised they even load them up. They should just drive them right back to Avoca.
Danny,
That's what Dougie used to do.
Yeah.
Leave the Bath Fair.
Yeah.
Go qualify a car on Tuesday and drive it home.
You got pulled over and they wrote the ticket for a 75 grand fee, and ticket got thrown away because it was 74.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was one of the last times Dougie ran back. I remember that. That was awesome. These guys, their uncles, Dougie and Danny, they are true, just old school, hardcore, 80s. They were it. I mean, they won a lot of derbies, and I used to love watching them. They were always
Not only they're hardcore
dudes,
derby dudes, but they're hardcore. I don't mean this as a put down, but they're hardcore biker dudes.
Oh,
with
yeah.
with the longo tees.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
ZZ Top has derby cars.
and that's and the cool and all tatted up. And the thing is, I've always been into Mopars, and the Sniders, they were just unstoppable in their Mopars for years. They just didn't lose.
Continue to be the only people on the planet other than his parents that Brian Tompkins is afraid of.
And they were running Canandaigua, and I'd never met either one of them. So Danny's probably 2 or 3 inches, maybe 4 inches taller than me. Just a big burly dude. Big
So how tall are you? Wait a minute. How tall are you?
6 foot.
He's taller than that.
Yeah, Danny's like
He's huge.
Yeah, Danny's like 6'3" or 6'4". And Dougie's short. Or Dougie was short. And so I walked up and I'm like, "Hey, which one are you?" And they kind of looked at me funny. But then from that point on, any question I asked them, they gave me the answer. I'm like, "Why do you do this?" And they'd tell me. I mean, they really went out of their way. I mean, they kind of helped me out, and I learned a lot of things from them. But
The answer usually is because I want to win.
yeah, they did a lot of that. But they explained everything. Anything I would ask them, they were both really good guys.
Yeah, Dougie had some pretty good luck in Steuben County with a 62 Mercury. What was it?
62
Skip.
Mercury wagon. Skip. Yeah, that's what
I think he won it 9 years in a row. The
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
292 Ford.
Yeah, stock,
my-
right?
Stock.
Yeah.
Yep. sold it to the.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, if they run
we had
anything like
some
my
big
old man, they don't
shows
hit
out
none
here
anyway.
in New Hampshire when I was a kid. There was a local track that decided they wanted to pay $10,000 to win. My cousin invited Dougie and Danny to come to New Hampshire to have some real competition. And when you know it, they brought home the money and took it away from my family. So I've been looking up to the Sniders for a long time.
Again, just to reiterate, Steve Bucknam, who's appearing via the derbytees.com hotline. There's nothing in the Derby world that we will do that Steve hasn't already done. Just
That's trouble. Oh, hey, Brian.
Yes, sir.
You remember I was talking about that dent show I went to where we were just completely underbuilt and we should have gone home?
Yes.
The Sniders pulled in, and they had a couple of Mopars on a flatbed, and there was, 220 cars at Pontiac, Michigan that day?
Yep.
They fired up those Mopars. The entire pit area froze, and everybody looked for those mean-ass Chryslers because, oh, my God, did they sound good. It gave
Yeah.
me chills.
What year was that, Steve?
98.
Yep.
Yep. My dad ran out there in '99.
Yeah.
Cordoba.
Yeah, your dad had
And
a
Frankie
Cordoba.
took a
Yep.
Grand Prix cop car out
Yep.
there. Yep.
Frankie ran. A bunch of them guys went out there and ran.
Mm-hmm.
And they just it was neat. Like I said, I watched them on tape, videotape. I don't know how many times. Ben's actually got the videotape.
Yeah, we watch it every time we go over there.
Yeah, we watched it and watched it and watched it, and it's neat. It's neat to watch.
what was it like getting able to share the track with? It was Danny at Metal Destruction this year.
It was pretty cool. It wasn't the first time I shared the track with him, but just to know that you got someone out there and having my dad and his old man out the stands watching was really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
But
cool.
I will say there was no better feeling than having me and my dad on the same track at the same time down in Bath Fair. That was probably the best experience of my life.
When was that?
2010,
So it was a
August.
couple- and has he driven since then?
He hasn't driven since
Yeah,
then.
he
but
he ran with me. He had a Cordoba.
that's right. He did run Bath Fair.
He got
Again.
second in his heat. Got hot though. Lost a belt. But yeah, we might see him at the Kuka Clash. There's a very good chance of that.
Maybe.
That'd be fine. What was the maybe for?
We got to see if we can get him a car first.
Yeah.
Yeah, go out back in the Manichaki acres and pick one of the many out.
Just a bunch of Luminos and pinch framers out there, Brian.
That when do I get invited to check it out? Then I like looking at Luminas up close. I'd love to come over there.
Hey, we're friends on Facebook.
Hey, I love Luminos. If you guys got Luminos, call me up. I'll buy them all day.
Speaking of Facebook, I mean, does Facebook add a new element to when the websites first started? You know, we had the IDDA, and then there was some message boards and stuff like that. When that stuff first started, it changed the element of the Derby drama game, and now we've got Facebook. Has that changed it at all? I mean, do you guys get more frequent messages from your pool of drivers or from people that you're up against or anything along those lines?
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like the Total Destruction site is totally just wiped off. It's not really used for nothing except for dates. But even now all the dates are on there. And really the only thing we crash is good for is going on there trying to find cars that people are selling or parts.
Yeah, everything's on Facebook.
Everything's Facebook now. My news feed is just clogged with
you know who's
Northeast
running,
and West New
where
York.
they're running. You know everything. You know everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's just so easy to put pictures on there and sell cars.
Yeah.
It's made it
has
a
it
little bit easier.
has it made the element of secrecy easier to keep? I mean, people don't want you don't want people to know what you're building, so you can post a picture of a car that you don't even own, or is it easier to?
So many people that do that.
Justin Gilmartin.
The funny,
Thomas Dowd.
the funny thing is I don't understand why people are so secret about cars. Anyways, I mean, what
I like showing them off. mean,
I
I'm
don't
not saying-
I don't understand what the big deal is. I mean, you're going to show up with it anyways. Who cares if somebody knows what you're building? I mean,
It don't matter.
yeah, you're all going to show up.
I
and
got a
wreck them.
1976 Chrysler Cordoba that I'm taking to Kuka Clash.
I saw
I'll
it
be
on-
there
on
at 6
Facebook.
o'clock.
Thomas Dowd has a
Brian,
2000.
I think it's part of the mental game of being a driver, though.
That's
Sometimes
all I
you
was
just
gonna
want to
say,
mess with the
Steve.
other drivers.
Exactly, Steve. I was just going to go there. That's exactly what I would say the same thing.
It's just dumb, though. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
But
For guys
also,
to
I
get
think it's a
upset.
newer generation. Maybe that's just me, but I say the younger generation.
Younger generation.
You know, well,
Devin-
you got Brian's generation or my generation. Us
Devin-
over here, we're putting stuff on Facebook.
Devin,
You're-
how old are you?
I'm 21.
You're 21, and Austin's what, 20?
18.
18. Yeah.
Okay, not my exact age. Not my exact age. But
Wait a minute, they're about 10 years
The
younger
cool
than you,
guys,
just
okay.
like you are to me. So I don't want to hear, buddy.
No, I think like the old school guys. I know a lot of older school guys, and they've always been secretive about their stuff. And I think that's just the way that you were back then. No, and it used to be everybody on the same hill, and guys were coming off the hill and looking at your cars. It's not like that anymore. So I don't think you have to be secretive like you had
Are you
to.
talking about a specific hill?
A specific hill? Yes, I am.
I'm just wondering if it's the one hill where everything's built.
The mecca of derbying.
It's the hill.
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to make sure you're talking about the right hill.
Can we talk about kicking out State
guy.
Fair, or
yeah,
what? Can we,
well, go
what do you
ahead.
want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
Chris, what are you shaking your head for, buddy?
Because you guys.
I want to tell another story, but Chris will just say it's something else that I've
No,
done
it's
before
fine.
everybody else. So I'll just keep quiet.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Steve, by all means, feel free.
Do it, dude.
No,
Wait,
in
let's be able
2007,
to.
I was going to Rutland to go try to qualify for their state championship there, Rutland, Vermont. And a friend of mine from Vermont asked me what I was going to bring, and purely just kidding around with him, I told him I had some rusty squareback Chevy wagon, and it was so rusty I didn't even know why I was building it, but that's what I had. But in truth, I had a really clean as I've ever had, 76 two-door Electra. And I really just told him it as a joke, but he started telling everybody I was bringing a rusty wagon, so I just let it go. And I showed up, and before I got to the track, I pulled over and tarped the whole car and pulled in with this car under the tarp. And it was just kind of fun. It was fun to mess with everybody. And I ended up winning that Derby, and then I won the state championship with the same car the next week. So maybe it works. I don't know.
I kind of had a situation like that play out a little bit at the Yates County Fair. I had all these grand plans. I was going to propose to my fiance or my girlfriend then on the roof of a car, and I had a pretty good friend that ran there, Matt Robson. We went to school together, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm bringing a '72 Cutlass." And it told me up and down. He told me what color it was. I even drove by his house to make sure he was telling me the truth, and there sat the Cutlass. And he shows up the day of the Derby with a hearse. And I don't know about you, but I think it's kind of bad karma to propose on top of a hearse. So I'm thrashing around the pits trying to find somebody that doesn't have something already on the roof of their car that finally found one, and Brandon Meacham let me use it. He almost won the Derby, no less, and then to make things even cooler, he cut the roof off the car and brought it over to me before he scrapped it. So we actually still have the roof of that at home.
That's sweet.
But yeah, I don't think it would have been a good. It would have a lot of room to write. Could write something real nice up there. I saw him pulling. I said
that would have been perfect. Just put "to death do us part."
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be a goal. Yeah, man.
That's funny.
When you guys were growing up, being around the Sniders and when your dad was running everything, how many good cars did you see get through one run before they got sent off to the junkyard? I mean, if you could go back in time,
I don't personally remember anything from that long ago, but I remember the yard was always full of cars. I remember seeing pictures of us painting the cars in the garage, but there was always cars there. There was always people there. Jay Sager was always there. Frankie Rundle was there. Frank Kohler was always there. Always a bunch of guys there working on cars all the time.
The most bent I've ever seen one of my dad's cars was a picture of a 76 Cordoba that he junked a Grand Fury wagon in, and he had the bumper over top of the air cleaner. And the only other car that even came close to that was a wagon. He just ended the tailgate. That's just it.
that was it.
I wish I had the video. 1992, he ran in Morris. Now he promotes that show.
Right.
He ran that car, and he did not hit one thing. He missed every single car, and he won it. He took it to the Bath Fair that same year and won down there. And that car, and then he just scrapped after that. He said, just junked them because there were so many of them. Him and Frankie, they used to go down. They used to go down to Virginia to that Leon's yard. They used to buy 2 cars, put them on the trailer, haul them back home. They'd buy 2 more on the way home and come back down and pick them up every weekend.
My mom was telling me on their honeymoon that's what they did. They got cars. They found a couple. They brought the roll back with a car trailer.
Kind of like Josh Buell go all the way down to Texas to get that diplomat, huh?
Brett Relier, when Brett and Terry got married, they went to Niagara Falls. Brett found a Cherry Town and Country wagon. It was white and wood grain, and they hauled that back. And he won that car or ran that car, I don't know, 12, 13 times. He just, that was great.
Did he do the 4x4 post in the trap doors in the back too, or no? He didn't do that trick.
I don't know.
Did he bolt down the back seats too, or no?
I don't know if he did that or not. I know he hit Richie with the back end of the front of Richie's Imperial and Bennett at Owego. So it may or may not have been slightly bent.
Maybe.
You know, years ago, Robbie Brown's dad used to tell me when they used to run at Owego, they used to take a bunch of cars down there, and when they used to go look for cars, if it needed spark plugs, they wouldn't even buy it. They would leave them there. If it needed spark plugs, they'd leave it there. But he used to tell a story that they'd take 10 cars down there, and the first heat, his old man would get hung up on the wall. First hit, hung up on the wall. They'd take it off the wall. He'd drive it right over to Weitzman's and scrap it. If he got one hit on it and installed, they drove it right over to Weitzman's and scrapped. They just scrapped everything. They did not. They never ran something a second time, which is crazy.
At least you're not scrapping everything.
No one likes you.
And my old man also told me a story that he had a Grand Fury wagon that he put 8 pointy bumpers in it and took it to the junkyard fresh.
Oh,
When was that?
hurts.
Yeah, probably 1995, 6.
Because it was junk then.
Everybody scrapped them bumpers, and now they're
God, I
gold.
can't wait to invent a time machine.
Yeah, right? I know. Because then Derby would live forever, right?
I've ran one New Yorker with a pointy bumper on it. Everything else, I've
You've done.
changed it through them all.
But the thing is with a pointy bumper for the way you drive, you probably want the flat bumper on there.
Yeah, but I don't. That's what I mean. I would just.
I
I'd get a New Yorker.
I was trying to. You know what? Screw you, man. I was trying to give you a compliment.
I was actually going to jump in there because, like, what are you talking about?
No, I agree.
What are you saying?
I agree, but I mean that's the thing is that's
trying to be nice to you. No,
I've
I'm
always-
done. No, forget it. I'm done talking to you right now. No, that's muted. That means you're done talking.
You made it 9 weeks. All done.
Ouch, that hurts. Sorry, buddy.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I always thought those bumpers were too much for the front of a stock Chrysler, and I would just.
Well, your wagon, you had a flat bumper on the front of that wagon, and that gold Fury that the bumper ended up falling off of, but you didn't know. Actually, you didn't know, but it looked like you didn't care. That was
A good driver would have known. Just let me throw that out there.
yeah.
If you ever hit anything hard enough to knock a bumper off,
I'll go. Listen to me. Listen. Look at my eyes. I'm going to give you a car, and then I'm
Okay.
going to junk you in it. You hear me? Let's plan on that.
okay.
Josh,
Got
a
one.
good driver would know to stay away from the wall.
Steve, what the hell? Steve, are you
Last
serious?
week I was on Brian. This week I'm on you.
Hey,
That's all.
speaking
Are
of
you
that,
being serious?
Speaking of that, can I get one of them T-shirts, Josh?
Oh, yeah. I'll get one.
I want your autograph on it too, if I can do that.
I know.
Everybody.
I just wondered if there was anything else in addition to the T-shirt thing, Devin, that you wanted to say to Josh after you worked so hard to get him here. He had things that he wasn't going to be able to be here tonight. He had another commitment, but he ended up.
I had to actually hire. I was going to weld all night today. I said right after Chris that I have a welder coming over and weld all night. Now I had to hire a guy to go over there and weld, and he's welding right now. How dare you?
Yeah, but you're here.
Is that why Ben can't go to dinner after this?
I wish it was better.
No, the reason why I wanted him here is because he's one of the only ones that still runs Mopars out of that generation, and he actually appreciates the stock show and go out there and run with all of us.
I mean, and I'm glad that you were so adamant that he be here because we were able to talk him into coming, and now he's here. And everybody, all the feedback that I get, they really like it when Josh is here. And they said, if there's any way that you could get off and just let Josh have the show, that'd be.
All Josh, all the time.
I'd get sick of that even.
You'd have Steve to help you out.
Oh yeah.
Steve
Steve's on my shit list right now.
Oh, all right. If that's how it's going to be this season, when I Skype in, I'm just going to point the camera at a Jersey barrier, and we'll just give your opinions.
Okay.
on it.
All right. Moving on. Let's different topic. Different topic.
I
Great.
think Josh going to be surrounded by so many people this year, he ain't going to be able to get up on the wall. He's got
Oh, yeah.
Tinker Toys now? They're coming for you, aren't they?
I dare.
They're in for it.
I'm telling you right now. I'm bringing extra cars, and I hope they're listening. I'm bringing extra cars, and they're going to sit on the trailer just until they pull out on the track. I'm waiting for you guys.
Come to every show.
Yeah, I'm waiting. You hear me?
I mean, how much fun was Austin? How much fun was Yates County this year? I mean, you had a lot of different dynamics going on there. You had the fight with Brett and one of the flaggers. You had the fight with Josh and the Tinker Toys crew. You had Dave Early out there that had tunnel vision on Justin Martin's car, and now you're out there and going toe to toe with somebody like Gary Brown and Brian France, and you end up coming away with a win.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, it was less than I expected, especially seeing Dave Early out there. That was That was crazy. I think I'm going to sponsor him this year. I got a pony bumper. I think I'm going to sponsor him.
That's
Get him
kinda
on my
sick.
team.
Get him on your side.
Just watching that video just makes me sick to my stomach to see how hard he was. He just backing up and just flying, hitting.
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
the in car when he hits Justin, and I hate to make him the butt of this, but when he hits Justin and the rain cap flies off of the stacks and flips in the air,
I saw that.
I
Yeah.
mean, he was just turning that thing, and
That's probably one of the best heats of the year, of especially in car. I mean, I could watch that all night long. I mean, he really is running the balls off of that, and that's like true derbying right there. I mean, he was going past me on the track, and every time I just kept moving over.
I
Thank
hit him
God
once.
he kept missing me.
I hit him once. I'm like, oh shit. That's
Yeah, no.
Stay close to him.
No, he was impressive. I mean, he built it great, and he ran it even better. I thought that
The
was
funny
he
thing
was fun to watch.
The funny thing was the first night he was sitting there in the stands. I was sitting next to him and Brett, and Brett said, "What do you got for the feature?" He goes, "Oh, I got a Suicide," but he goes, "It's pretty shitty, and it's kind of rusty, and I don't think it's gonna last long." And then he went out there and he did. He was definitely out for one thing, and he achieved what he wanted to do.
so I mean, how do you top that? How do you top that this year?
Oh, he's got to change the gears, put lower gears.
I don't know. It was.
I hope he runs it again like that. I mean, that was fun to watch. Even in the heat, it's fun to watch that going.
Makes it interesting.
Just
yeah.
whoever you are, if he's coming for you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am sorry. Yeah.
Where do you guys plan on running? I mean, are you going to be up here enough to run many shows? I mean,
Well, we were thinking about maybe doing that Battle of the Border thing over at Cuba, the 6-cylinders, but I guess they're already full on that. But I don't know if they let another New York team. We were going to see maybe me and him and one other guy go do that. That other guy is still out there, so if anyone wants to run with us,
Josh Stocker, I nominate.
You guys build me a car, gone. I ain't building a compact.
so you're doing Metal Destruction, and then
Then Cuca Clash, and then if I have anything left over from that, I'm going to go around Waterloo.
oh wow,
And maybe Hemlock, because I'm going to probably take 30 days of leave in July so I can run all them shows and be home for Canandaigua too. So.
is that something that you've been building up towards having that open window?
Yep.
Because you do serve in the United States Army, but it's not something that you said you didn't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about it.
It's just an experience. It'll be over here shortly.
There you go.
We'll just leave it at that.
Tell you, the more I hear about that Cucla Clash, the more I think I want to go there and at least see what's going on there.
I need somebody to help run a camera.
Wait a minute. I was just going to dare him to bring a car. Come on, old man.
He's
You
retired.
can't do that.
He's got the bad
I can't
back.
drive no more. My back's junk.
Oh, my gosh.
There's
you
more
doing?
steel in my back than most of a Decker's front end. So
Hey. Yeah, you better keep drinking that.
Wow.
I was going to give him a car. I said, come on.
He really that's something that
actually,
really.
real quick, not to interrupt. Little shout out. We got a longtime listener, been on the chat room with us since the beginning. Tom Woodbury from Vermont, Superman 37, listening live on the chat, and also getting some Facebook feedback from a first-time listener, old school Derby guy, Brian Mullins out of Ohio. IDDA guys would know him as Moose Dog. Tuning in for the first time. Appreciate you guys being here with us as part of the Crash Course
That's
podcast.
cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
More the merrier.
No, every week we get like better, different names. It's really cool how it's growing. It's pretty awesome that we're spreading it out.
I hope so. I mean, I hope this is working well.
Yeah, we can't go backwards. We
Yeah.
got to go forwards.
We've got to keep pressing on.
Definitely.
Some news since last we were together. We talked with Bo Lockwood, and things have been concreted, and they are locked in for. I blanked on it. Keystone Nationals down in Brooklyn, Pennsylvania. Yep.
How's
So
that
that's
sleep going for you, buddy?
it's not working. not working well at all. So we get to see Steve on Saturday, and then we're going to turn around and we'll probably see him again on Wednesday at the Broome County Fair, and then again the following weekend at the next show that Bo's working on, with more details to be announced.
I'm excited about Broome County Fair. It's going to be fun to go back there again.
I've got a question for you here, Chris.
Me?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Do you know who will be inspecting at Cuca Clash?
Yeah.
By any chance, do I know that inspector?
You know both of them.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
You know all of them, for that matter.
There's your answer, buddy.
Hey, Steve, about Broome County, please, I can't wait till you come back there, but please, last year you guys, where'd you guys sleep,
Really?
in a car, or where did you guys sleep last year?
Oh, my God. We were traveling. I don't think we slept at all.
We both drove home, I think.
Please
Yeah.
call me. You guys can sleep at my house, and then we'll beer tent afterwards.
That's
Please.
wonderful.
We got a beer tent. It's,
Unless
trust me.
you have a rough night, because last year you were not in a happy
I was
mood.
pissed off last year,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be this year. I'm going to be in a better mood, I think. I'm going to run a lot different this year.
Hey, I had some great help up in the booth last year doing the announcing. It was a little hectic at first trying to figure out the way you guys do your lineup, so maybe we can I'll get there a little earlier this time, and we'll work out kind of a better way to make it better for everybody. And this next year's show at Broome County, I'm going to work my butt off to get people on their feet for the whole thing.
Can you make another trailer real quick for me, if you don't mind, this year? Also, like that little thing. Just make me one more. Because if you Google my name, it comes right up. First thing that comes up. Thank you, buddy, by the way. I love you for
I can
that.
make trailers for anybody or any show. I need about 25 pictures to make it happen, and video clips to make it even.
Yeah, if either of you guys want those, I mean, I got tons of footage of you,
Right.
And then we got the in-car stuff from the state fair for sure. We can do that for yours, and I know going back in time, I'm sure I've got some stuff from when you were running to Cuba.
For sure.
Oh, Hartford too, because he was.
Oh, Hartford, that's
he
right.
ran
I forgot
Hartford
that. Yeah, you did run
2011,
Hartford.
right?
Yeah, we were one of the first ones to run out. Or were you down there for that, Josh? The first show in Hartford?
No. Oh.
I think that was just Palmer, Wolfhanger, Adams, and myself that ran down there from New York. Yep.
Yeah, Brett ran there.
Oh yeah, Brett did
Brett
run
was
down
there.
there. He had a
Yep.
pre-run in Paley. Yep.
And all of them were. I was funny. I hadn't seen that. I watched it the other day, and like everybody from New York is in the one heat together, and then Devin's by himself in another heat. And I was like, how
Oh,
the
I
hell
know
did
it.
that
I go through inspection, and Mike pulls heat 3, Frank pulls heat 3, Wolfhanger pulls heat 3, and,
Brett pulled. They were all in the same heat,
and
then
Ben
you
was
were
standing by me, and he's like, "You ready to pull that?" I'm like, "Yeah." I pulled it. Heat 1. I said, "Let's go." Here we go.
That, you know, when you pull a number, a lot of times that like it either makes or breaks your night right there. You pull a number and it's like, son of a bitch. You know?
For sure.
How difficult is it to seed heats? I mean, we were talking about blind draw, we were talking about random draws, we were talking about taking 103 and one Imperial if it's one of those combined style shows and one each per heat. And how difficult is it from the inspection and administration side of things to seed the heats?
I usually take care of doing the heats and everything at the shows. I try to make them as even as possible. I usually, if there's a lot of fresh cars, I know what a good car looks like. You know if something's going to hold up if it's put together. It's not a Crown Vic with a 5.0 fuel injected.
Right.
You're gonna put the pre-run cars and the weaker cars in a heat. You're gonna put the better cars in a heat and let them battle it out. If you're gonna.
Can I be honest? I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not knocking what you guys do because actually your heats are always good. I don't think you guys pull them wrong or anything. But I've been to some shows. I'm not going to name its names where you see the lineup in the heat and you know somebody actually sat there and said like I'm going to stick this whole group of guys in one heat so they got to run together. I don't think that's fair. I think it really should be random. Either you pull your name out of a hat or something. But I don't think it's fair when you're looking at it saying like, all right, this guy should go here and this guy should go here. I don't think you're making it fair. I think it's making an unfair advantage on that track.
So would you rather the groups be broken up, or would you rather the groups be together, depending on which group you're running with?
It's all random. I don't care.
You
If some days
you want truly random.
yeah, if y'all pulled number 4 and you're all number 4, that's fair. To me, it's like all right, that's fair.
Because what I was thinking of doing at the Cuca class show was everybody that entered early gets preferential treatment. They get first heat, second heat, depending on how many early entries we get. And then the day of, the balance of heat 2 and all of heat 3 and then all of heat 4, if we need 4 heats, all go into random draw. So the people that come the day of, they got a smaller shot at getting the early heats based off the random draw. But the guys that had gotten in early, like some of these guys in this room that are already registered, that are already in line, are already going to have those early heat seeds. I mean, we've put that out there since the beginning. I don't know. I mean,
It shouldn't matter.
I welcome any feedback.
It shouldn't matter who's in your heat. And if I had it my way, if Austin, myself, and my old man run at Cuca Clash, I'd like to be in all separate heats.
Yeah.
If that's how I could have
Well,
it.
I
You know,
mean,
right.
it'd be a lot easier on me.
Right. Exactly.
I'd like Decker in my heat.
I don't
so
know.
can run them over with quick and
You got to
move
get
on
it.
the
You got to
next-
get it.
You're running, Brian?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yes, that's the plan.
Bullshit.
Separate cars out.
Chris-
I mean, a lot of shows separate them by size and 4, 6, and 8 cylinder and stuff. But when you're running a real basic build or even a stock type show, a lot of times that's not as important anymore. Chris, I mean, you've been to the Woodburger shows a couple of times now, and you've seen their free for all events where anybody can come out on the track with whatever's left running. And more often than not, it's been a 4-cylinder that's won the whole show.
More often than not, and he's right. And also seeing all the different shows that we end up going to through the course of the year with the different dimensions of the Smashed Empire stuff, I see that the 6-cylinder cars can easily hold their own against the big cars, especially in stock rule settings. There's no reason to be afraid. If you have a 6-cylinder Lumina, that is a car that you can enter and you can compete with the 70 stuff with it. You can.
Absolutely.
Yep, I agree.
Hands down.
Because really, you could put somebody in a Cherry 74 Grand Fury 74 Impale that has no experience driving, and he's going to be no good.
Yep.
Put somebody that's a very, very experienced driver, knows how to, good shots, keep his cool in a Lumina, and he go out there and beat him.
You know who really, really does a good job with that is
remember my old man in that Monte Carlo over there at Broom Tayug when you were in the Imperial?
I felt really bad. Let me just say, I didn't know it was your dad until afterwards, but your dad put a shot on me. I seen him in the corner. I thought I was a kid in it, so I just drove him out of his seat. No, he retaliated. He retaliated.
He had you up on the wall. I thought
Holy, he really beat on me. He put some bruises on me in a little compact. It was crazy. And I was in a 65 boxcar.
Yeah.
Travis Charleston is another one up in Malone who does a really good job with front-wheel drive Luminas. I mean, that's pretty much all he runs, and he holds his own in that setting like the 360-foot track that they've got up there in Malone. Go ahead, Josh.
Just look at State Fair. No, but I was going to say look at State Fair.
Oh, yeah.
For all
look
those
at Dom.
years,
look what Dom did.
State Fair was so much old iron. It was, pulling out on that track in 70 old iron route there was awesome. Then all of a sudden, one year we get there and there's 12 Luminas, and the Luminas take 1, 2, and 3. Right? Was that one year?
Yep.
What the hell happened here?
That was Weedsport when
what happened here?
Weedsport. That was like a 96 Grand Prix beat a round back and a shocker Mopar.
Boy, that'll piss you off.
But Brian, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I am going to try to plan to run the Kuka Clash. Chris is supposed to be buying me a car. I don't know if that's supposed to be made public or
Wait,
not.
What?
Okay, so you're not running.
We're good.
You're not running.
Yeah, you're right.
So wait, you're running to the Kuka Clash, or you're going?
He's not running anywhere.
I'm going to ride over. That's way too far to be running. Once again.
Cue the Rocky music.
Hey, Sloan's fighting again, man. You gotta give him credit for that.
I can't believe that.
Not to change the subject completely, but
All of his movies are the same now.
yeah.
Yeah, boring.
And back to touch on Total Destruction one more time. I think if these 03 and newer cradle swaps, it turns out to be a go, I could picture in the next couple of years that maybe we'll come to an agreement on letting Imperials run.
That'd be great. That'd be outstanding.
Yeah.
Only if we make one man in New York State happy. You'll probably be the only one that runs Imperials.
He's gonna be the only one at the show.
He's okay with that.
Just go out there and hit the wall.
You guys will make my day. I'm fine with that.
You're going to be the only guy showing up with an Imperial, and you're going to get run over by a swarm of 600.
Story of my life.
Lyman
anyway.
Reed is going to be following you around.
I owe him a couple shots, Lyman Reed.
Now the way you worded that is interesting, because you said within the next couple of years we're going to see it. Now, within the next couple of years, you also said in the next couple of years you guys are going to be running the show.
Right, that's why
So
I
is
said
that
that. Because I'm not going to go speaking for anybody else right now.
okay? All right.
But once he kicks his father out and takes over, shit's gonna change. Just get that out there, buddy.
I like this kid's attitude.
That's asking for trouble when they get home.
Good thing we don't live with him.
Right.
And he don't have no connection with Facebook, so he won't even see this.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
good.
Hey, we only got 2 minutes left. Can I bring up one quick thing that I think we should all talk about? Derby party.
What
Derby
do you want?
party.
What do you want to bring up?
Derby party. Banquet.
Yeah, we're out of time, man.
Oh, come on. I really think
I think we should talk about the Derby Inc. contest.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to
that's-
that in a second. That'll make time for it. Go ahead. You go first, Josh.
I'm done.
No.
Derby banquet.
What are you doing?
No, I want everyone. I really
We're
am
doing
pushing.
we're doing a live show there.
I'm really pushing for this. It's gonna be an awesome day. I think there's some really cool drivers that are coming that people are gonna want to talk to. I got some drivers telling some good stories on our live feed that I'm gonna save for that day. But I think it's gonna be a great day. Please, everybody, take a few minutes. Only got to come a couple hours if you want, but please come up and go to that Derby banquet. It's so worth it. If you got stuff to buy or sell, get there.
Did you want to tell them when and where it is?
I'll let you. I don't even know the answer to
Okay,
that.
it's February 15th. Owego Treadway at Owego.
February
And then,
15th. Okay.
And we are working on it. It ends on midnight Christmas Eve. It's a Derby Inc. This actually was Steve's idea. We were chatting a little bit about it. We need creative pictures of you reading or doing something with your issue of the Derby Inc. magazine. Everybody should have them now. So the best picture, you didn't get yours yet?
No, me.
Oh, you. I thought it was Austin.
Yeah, we got ours.
No, I get mine.
Okay. And
We're working
you
on
can
a picture. We're working on a good picture.
you get a picture, you post it up
Great
there,
picture, Steve.
tag me or tag the magazine in it, and the best one will get free video or $25 off a roof sign.
7930 Old Voc Road.
Okay, I got it. I got the I know where it's got to go, I think. But yeah, that's something that we're trying for the holidays, and so far we got one picture. Oh, Scott Cook posted pictures, but he just posted pictures of himself. There's no magazine in it, so it didn't really work out for him. But there's one of them with I can't remember who it was, but he's got his Smashed Empire Films heavy hitter award from Wheel Days alongside the magazine with his Christmas tree. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah,
His welding helmet wasn't there.
I was going to say.
No, I mean, I'm thinking of all people that could do a cool one. It'd be Scott, but he hasn't done one yet.
He's probably breathing a little bit too much welding smoke. It could be
Himself.
He's
affecting him
built some
upstairs.
stuff. He's been busy.
Yeah, I think I read where he's actually taking a little bit of time off, and
He doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
He's out of wire.
he ran out of that pallet fall already.
Yeah,
I hate when that
Flashbird
happens.
for 3 weeks.
That's really good.
Yeah, he's got a sunburn.
For sure.
What, Steve? You look annoyed. What happened?
I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm just thinking about last time I got flash burn, and I'm just feeling bad for Scott.
He has built a lot of stuff this week, though. I mean, if you look at it, he's talking about, finish another 8 tanks. There's
Yeah.
another 5 or 6 floor
37 or
pedal.
38 tanks. I think he said he was shipping out.
He's
Yeah.
gonna burn himself out. He's
Yeah.
got to
he
get
made
some
a kind
help.
of cryptic post about FedEx, and I'm wondering if maybe they kicked him out and they're not going to ship for him anymore. He probably broke some poor delivery guy's back.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sure UPS would be happy to pick up the
Yeah.
slack.
Those posts you put on Facebook just crack me up.
Oh, they make me laugh too. No, they're funny.
Fucking snowplows. My dogs plow better than you.
They're funny.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing he's a shy guy. Doesn't like to voice his opinion too much.
Well, guys, I mean, before we let you go, if you guys have any across the board sponsors or any place that we can find and connect with Total Destruction and how to get a hold of you guys, by all means, we want to give you a minute or two to let everybody know how to find you.
I would say Facebook is the most reliable source to find Austin or myself on.
Or Ben.
Or Ben, yeah. For
Ben.
sure. How could you forget him?
Right.
I mean, what a great guy, right?
And then do you have a website that's active where we can find dates?
Yes, totaldestructiondemo.com. That's our website, and the dates are updated on there.
And then we should look
We
for
should
something
know
about
about February 15th. We'll know all the dates for sure.
Okay, great. Make sure you get
So
over there.
I'll just throw this out there. If you guys, if you ever have somebody get sick or whatever, and need an announcer, I might know somebody.
Yeah, well, maybe if Dad hangs up the hat, we might give you a buzz.
Maybe he has to go to another Christmas party or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Christmas in July. Well, yeah, Total Destruction Demo. Get on there, check them out. Make sure you jump on Facebook, say hi to those guys. If you have any questions about any of the upcoming events that they're going to be doing, you can track them down then, right there on Facebook. I appreciate you guys taking time out and coming up here and hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having us here.
It's been a great time, getting able to know Austin a little bit. We were up there in Malone and continuing that relationship and hoping to see a little bit more of you next year, and looking forward to Yates County for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm glad it worked out that you were home, Devin. We were able to
yeah.
put this thing together. Unfortunately, your dad had that Christmas party sneak up on him, and we couldn't do it. But it was great having you guys here, and of course, having Josh here and Brian and Steve. It's another good day for the crash course.
Absolutely.
Hey, just one quick thing. I just want to throw out Merry Christmas to the.
I was gonna say, no.
No, I just wanted to get a Merry Christmas out there to the. Sorry, Devin.
We can't end without one final thought.
I know.
To the active military who aren't going to be home with their family for the Christmas. Just give them guys and girls a thought because they're the ones that allow us to do this stuff. Just want to get a thanks out to all of them guys and girls out there keeping us safe.
Well, he at least had a good comment out there.
I'd like to give a shout out to Matt Gaskin for helping me build my car, and Tommy Dowd for letting me run that motor in that Cordoba, buddy. Appreciate it.
That was the secret.
Wait a minute, that's Dowd's motor? You're getting junked, buddy. You're getting junked. Believe it. You hear that, Dowd?
Well, guys, once again, we sure do appreciate it. That's going to do it for this edition of the Crash Course. Thanks so much, guys, once again, and we look forward. We're going to be back here again next week. We'll see you then.